tape in front of the live studio. Hello, people, and welcome to the number one show podcast for rock and roll. The Rockshow, the number one show for information. We rule, man. We're doing good stuff here.
Yep.
We're working our way. We got video. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on Pandora. Just picked us up. We're on iHeartRadio, Stitcher. We're on some foreign site too. I think that I laugh every time when I hear that.
Taking over the nation one lumped up day at a time.
One lumped up day at a time. It's going to be hard when Sober March comes in. You know what?
I'm going to do a Sober March.
I'm going to do a Sober March because that's what everybody else is getting
doing
drunk.
January?
I'm getting sober.
Okay.
Why do January? January is the month you did. And
I'm doing it. Yeah.
You know what? The rock show goes out to those two people, members of the family.
Sad start to the new year. Zach Milliard.
And Stuart. Stuart Holmes.
Zach, I knew a little bit. He had that Banana podcast.
Oh, yeah, the Banana Show, yeah.
Right. And we spoke a couple of times about being on each other's shows, and now we can't fucking do it.
But his partner Anthony's still alive. We'll reach out to him. His girlfriend Catherine's alive.
That's true.
And I like to reach out to Stuart Holmes and his family. I know Stuart was the manager at McDonald's.
Stewie, yeah.
He used to go to Bull Street all the time with his wife, and he passed away. So, with heavy heart, we got some people that have passed away, but you know what? Like everything else, we got to go on. It's sad.
As we
it's
get
a rough
older,
2020.
man, we'll be seeing more of this.
My old man told me something. The older you get, the more people you're going to see die.
This makes sense.
I'm like, okay, you're right, Dad.
Yep.
So today we have a little show called The Rock Show. This is episode 48, and we talk about advocacy.
Not Abbott Costello. Elvis Costello.
Elvis Costello. I almost call him Abbott Costello.
Well, he got the name Costello from Lou Costello.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did.
Because his real name is like something McCadney.
His name is Declan Patrick McManus.
McManus, yeah, that's what his real name is.
But when he changed his name, he used Costello because he was a Lou Costello fan.
Abbott Costello. I almost called him.
You're not really wrong. All right, so Elvis Costello is an interesting guy. He's a great songwriter.
So before we start, can I shit on him?
Sure.
He's not like one of my favorite guys. I gotta say that. The only reason, he's a favorite songwriter. He was in actually the Rolling Stone One Top 100 Artists. He's number 80.
No, he's up there.
I think I think that's fitting for him. I can see him as an 80, even a 90.
Yeah. He's not gonna be in the top 10.
But he's
not. I'm a fan of like the first 3 albums and then some scattered stuff after that. But he's an interesting guy. I want to give a little information on him. We can shit on him too. We deserve it.
All right,
he's kind of a douchebag in some ways. All right, but we'll get into that.
All right.
He was born August 25th, 1954. His name was Declan Patrick McManus in Paddington, London.
Paddington, London.
Which is kind of up near the Liverpool area.
Have you ever been to Paddington, London?
No. Well, he actually moved to Liverpool. It's not in the Liverpool area.
Okay.
But Paddington, no, I've never even been to England, man.
Oh.
I'd like to go there. His father's name was Ross McManus, and his mother's name was Lillian Alder.
So
Lillian was from Liverpool,
and the other one was English.
He was an Irish guy.
Irish guy. Yeah.
Okay. He was that name. He was a jazz trumpeter. Okay, so there was a lot of music in the household where he was growing up. He had a very Catholic upbringing. When he was 16 years old, his mother and him moved to Birkenhead near Liverpool. Okay, and his first band was called Rusty, and it was kind of like a folk hippie-ish kind of band. But in 1974, after he finished college, he
started young, right?
He started as a teenager.
Yeah.
He worked a variety of different jobs, office jobs, and he moved back to London.
Yeah.
He started at that point in England in the early 70s, 74, 73. Pub rock was very big.
Oh yeah,
okay?
pub rock.
Mick Jones from the Clash started in that.
Yes.
Joe Strummer from the Clash started in that scene. He had put a pub rock band together called Flip City, and that band was active between 1974 and 76.
He actually was getting a little notoriety.
He was
coming in
Now, in 1974, he actually did a commercial with his father, an advertisement. Okay, his father was a jazz trumpeter, and he sang. and it was for a company called R. White's Lemonade. It's like a soda, okay? And
that sounds so wrong.
It was,
like today,
White's Lemonade. His father sang the commercial, and he's in the commercial singing it with him in the background.
Does it say that one lemonade black people won't drink? That sounds very racist.
It
that
does.
day.
All whites.
All whites. Come on, that's a horrible name for fucking lemonade.
People didn't go there back then.
Oh my
They
God.
weren't thinking on those lines. God.
Imagine take the name today.
Yeah, you couldn't. You could have a problem with it.
You have a big problem.
Yeah. Now, that commercial actually won an award and everything. It's funny. But he was an avid songwriter all the time from when he was young. And he was very assertive. He got himself signed to Stiff Records in 1976.
Stiff Records.
Right. Now, at that point, he was using the name D.P. Costello.
Yeah.
And the people at Stiff said, "Nah, you should change your name." And he decided to change it to Elvis Costello. Elvis because of Presley, Costello because of Lou Costello. Yep. His first single on Stiff was a song called "Less Than Zero."
Oh, that's a
Great
great
song.
fucking song.
It came out May 25th, 1977. He had some other songs that he was performing live that would end up on that first album.
Yeah.
That would come out later in the year called "My Aim Is True." You know the song Allison.
Let me tell you, that album.
Angel's Gonna Wear My Red Shoes.
That's a masterpiece. Like when you take out, like for his first album, to me, I think that is one of his best albums.
It's probably his best album.
You know, and then I love the third album, was also great.
Armed Forces. Yeah.
But that first album, you're a fucking rookie, and you take out. It was a fucking. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, he was definitely. I mean, Stiff was just getting started, and he was taking them right into the forefront. They had some good artists. The Damned were on Stiff at the time.
The Damned were fucking great.
Yeah. Now, the problem with Stiff, though, in those days is they had no U.S. distribution.
Yeah.
So if you were on Stiff, the only way in America you could get those records was as an importer. It was more money. A lot of people weren't doing that. So he wanted to get...
But you know what? That import shit was always good because it was like an underground community.
Oh, yeah, but it was expensive.
Yeah, it was
expensive. I mean, I would pay...
But that's when you knew you were a real record collector because you would get those... I need an import of this.
One thing about Elvis Costello was I think he was looking for commercial success pretty much right away. Even though he was able to control his music and direction, he really did it by having a lot of commercial success in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know. Now, what I was saying
but
is,
he was an actor also. He did some acting.
He did a lot of acting.
We'll get into that. He's a fucking weird guy. Like that's
he's
why
all over the place.
The guy's all over the place. That's why I don't take him serious. He's like, are you a musician? You're an actor? Or you're a comedian? What the fuck do you want to do?
Well, to me, it's the first couple albums for me. You know, and then after that, it's kind of scattered. But he's got interesting things even in that period.
Yeah.
What he did is he knew that Stiff didn't have any distribution. So what he did was in London, there happened to be a Columbia Records executive meeting that he found out about.
Wow.
So he went in front of the building and played for tips in front of the building.
That's kind of brilliant.
And in England, you can't do that. And he got himself arrested. And word somehow got out. Okay.
Yep.
And he ended up getting signed with Columbia as for U.S. distribution.
Which is brilliant.
Which is brilliant, okay? How he pulled that off, I have no idea.
You know, they got the deluxe album, Your Aim Is True, and they added a lot of shit to it, which is actually, it's actually a pretty good damn album.
It is. Now, talking about that album, his backing band for all these great songs was the band called Clover, okay? They were an American band.
Yeah.
Clover actually would morph years later into Huey Lewis and the News.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Huey Lewis ended up being was a singer in Clover.
Yeah.
The band played with Elvis Costello on that album, had nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
But that would morph into that later on.
You know, Huey Lewis is a show that I think we're gonna have to touch it this year. What do you think about touching Huey Lewis in the News?
You're gonna have to get me really drunk.
I'll get you stoned.
I don't like that motherfucker.
You know what? I
him?
love the first album. That one album. No, you know what? Do him in one album. They have one great album.
If you want to, yeah.
I thought it was interesting because they were like, you know what? I love it when in American Psycho. The guy
I mean, you know, because
it's an uptime too.
And all the killings going on and shit. They did that with Susudio.
Susudio, that was great.
Yeah.
I love that song. I Want a New Drug. Come on, that was probably the best song they had.
That's probably the only song I could listen to.
So we could probably do a thing on one song and then
we can talk about like 80s one-hit wonders and shit.
I mean,
that might be
a
good.
great
70s
idea.
one-hit wonders. Yeah.
They were more like new wave one hit because even Costello was considered like a new wave, right?
He was. Huey Lewis was not.
No.
Huey Lewis was just
rock and roll,
pop. Yeah. Now, he would come out with "The My Aim Is True" later that year in '77, and it would be top 40 in the United States right away.
Yeah.
It would do well. Didn't ever hit single off it really.
No.
In England, there was a non-LP single for the song "Watching the Detectives," which is like a reggae-ish song.
That's a fucking good song.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
And he actually didn't have that band with him on that song. He had guys from Graham Parker and the Rumor.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we had guys from the Rumor backing him on that song. It was a non-LP single, but it actually did very well. Kind of discusses like TV violence, but it's over a reggae beat.
It's fucking great.
Now,
it's a great
he
song.
wanted to get a solid band together to record and tour with. And the very end of '77, he would put together the Attractions, and that would be his backing band for a long time.
I think they were with him to '86 or something, right?
And then he would reform them later on.
Now,
that was Steve Niev on piano, Bruce Thomas on bass, and Pete Thomas on drums. They're not related, just so you know.
I know.
Okay, now, he did something that is classic. December 17th, 1977, the Sex Pistols were supposed to be on the Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Okay, now, they couldn't get into the country. They got fucked with their visas.
This guy got...
And Elvis Costello substituted. They were able to get him.
That was great.
But when they spoke to him, they were like, well, what song are you going to do? And he gave them a list of songs he wanted to do. And one song that he wanted to do was Radio, which wasn't on the album, but it was something he was working on.
Yeah.
And it's a song about radio and like fucked up commercialization of music and stuff. And Lorne Michaels at SNL said, no, you can't do that song. So he says, okay, I'll do our single Less Than Zero.
Yeah.
Okay, which was the single off of My Aim Is True.
And they probably did Addis. They had to do Addison because they do two songs.
I don't know if, I guess, it didn't even get that far because what happened was he starts doing Less Than Zero, and in the middle of it, he stops the band. No, he stops it, and he starts playing Radio.
And that's it.
And he was banned for the next 15 years or so, 12 years or so off Saturday Night Live after that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, well, you knew there was going to be controversy if it was the Sex Pistols that night or it was Costello. But that was the event that kind of got him that name, the Angry Young Man.
The Angry Young Man,
he was the Angry Young Man. So he went on tour with some other Stiff Records artists at that time in the States, and it was recorded as the Live Stiffs album. Did pretty well. The band then went into a studio for the second album. This is as the Elvis Costello and the Attractions. It's the album This Year's Model, which is a very good album.
Yeah.
It was produced by Nick Lowe again. The first album was produced by Nick Lowe as well.
Yep.
This would be a partnership that would go on for quite a few albums. This is the album with Pump It Up on it, which was a hit.
A real good song.
Okay, and has Radio on it. A song called I Don't Want to Go to Chelsea. The album was a big hit. Now, they went on their first Australian tour at that point, and it was at the Regent Theatre in Sydney where a riot broke out because he refused to do an encore. Okay, apparently he played long enough, he didn't want to do an encore. They started ripping up the chairs and seats and shit. And
people lost their fucking mind.
They lost their mind. Now, the U.S. tour was mixed with a Canadian tour at that point, and that did very well too. He didn't have a hit single yet in America, but it would come soon, and in the meantime, he was selling like a decent amount of albums. He was getting lumped in with the
my
new
sister's
wave
watching.
Scene. Hello, Rob's sister.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. All right. 1979, he came out with a third album, and this is probably my favorite album from him.
Armed Forces? Fucking great album.
The one with the elephants on the cover?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, Nick Lowe, again, would produce that. The original title was going to be called Emotional Fascism. And the
That probably would have been
the record
popular.
company got on him for that. And I think he had lyrics in a song with that in it, but he changed his mind to Armed Forces.
You know, the Oliver's Army, my favorite song off that fucking album.
Yeah, me too.
That song was like, that was number 2 in the UK.
Accidents Will Happen.
Accident Will Happen, another good song.
Yeah.
Like,
Now, it's also got my favorite too, is the Nick Lowe written "What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and
Peace, Love, and
Understanding." I love that song. I love the video.
That song
It's just
great.
like, it's just great, you know.
Mike, can I ask you a question? Do you think that was more like a political album, right? It was a total political album.
I think it was.
Cause like all the shit that he talked about, you're like, oh yeah, but it made you think.
He's
like,
talking
what the
about
fuck?
historical stuff and political stuff, and yeah, I mean, it's different than the first two.
Yeah,
that's for sure. It was definitely, I think it was his biggest selling by that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Now he would get into a little controversy again. Okay, in March of '79, that album came out in January.
Yeah.
He went on an American tour. In March, he was in Columbus, Ohio, hanging out in a Holiday Inn, and there happened to be Stephen Stills was there. Stephen Stills was in Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Yes.
And he was also hanging out with a singer that was around for a long time named Bonnie Bramlett. She played with different people. They're at a Holiday Inn bar in Columbus, Ohio, and they're having an argument. What it's about exactly, I'm not quite sure. But apparently in the middle of the argument, and they were all drunk, okay? Elvis Costello says something like, James Brown is a jive-ass nigga. Okay? And he also, and their response was like, what the fuck did you just say? And he
What's up, John?
And he doubles down, and he says something like, Ray Charles is a blind, ignorant nigga. All right? Now, it was a drunken conversation. He didn't think he was going to go past that point. But Bonnie Bramlett went to the press with it.
Yeah, she
ratted him out.
Ratted him out. Straight up.
Okay? And he actually had to apologize in New York City in front of a press conference that he had to call to show that he's not racist. Okay? So he claimed he was drunk, and he said he was trying to actually end the argument by saying something so fucking outrageous
that people would stop talking.
That they would just shut up. Right.
That's what I do all the time.
I know. But it didn't work. Okay. And who thought that somebody would go to the press and rat you out? Now, he apologized to James Brown and Ray Charles publicly at the press conference.
You know what the fucked up? Ray Charles never saw the apology.
Ray Charles accepted the apology.
No, but he never saw it.
He never saw it. He only heard it. Because he's a blind, ignorant. No, actually, Ray Charles was very cool about it because he said something like, listen, drunken statements aren't meant to be printed.
You know what?
And they're not.
We should have had Lou Reed's I Want to Be Black playing in the background.
Maybe
to do the apology.
Maybe it was. The album was out. You never know. Shoot 20 feet of chisel too. Oh, shit. Okay. Moving right along here. Now, Elvis Costello previously worked extensively with Britain's Rock Against Racism before and after this incident. He would also, that year in '79...
New York Rock has a watch party, please.
Cool. Maybe somebody stuck it on. What he would do is in '79, he would get involved with the Specials on their debut album, the Ska Band. Remember we did a show on them?
Are fucking great.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a band that if they ever came around, because they were around.
They were around last year.
I would love to see them. We got to get on that.
We can go. They played the Gramercy. February 15th, 1980. He would come out with a soul-infused album called Get Happy. I like this album.
It's all right.
It's got like the I Can't Stand Up for Falling Down, the old Sam and Dave song. The cover of the album looks like an old 60s like R&B band kind of thing. It will be produced by Nick Lowe. It will get to number 11 in the United States, is his best so far.
Yeah.
And like I said, I Can't Stand Up for Falling Down was a hit. Beaten to the Punch, High Fidelity. It was an upbeat album, whereas the last couple albums were a little dark.
Let me tell you, I can shit on him all I want, but he is a Grammy award-winning artist, and he also won the Bet's Singer of the Year award once.
See, I can shit on people that have that on their credit.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that. What I like about
the Grammy, he won it. You know what? That's something that
it's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
But
for him
Grammy,
to do,
but yeah, I mean, and he's
and he's in your favorite place, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Where I give him credit is he had that stretch between 77 and like 81, 82 where he put out a lot of albums.
Credit. I'll give him to 79. I love
well, I mean, like the Get Happy album is all right. That's 79.
Oh yeah, but then he became Patti Smith, and I got to shit on her and shit on him.
He became worse than Patti Smith,
yeah,
I think. But anyway, January of 81, he would come out with the Trust album, and this to me is where he kind of just starts going down. Okay. At that point, there was a lot of tensions going on between Pete and Bruce Thomas in the Attractions. They were about to break up.
Yeah.
There was a single called Watch Your Step that they performed on the Tom Snyder show, the Tomorrow Show, which was pretty good, but the album was weak. He says it himself, it's one of the worst produced albums that he ever fucking made. You know, 1981, he would go in a different direction. And I give him this, he was trying to reinvent himself a little bit. He was always a big country music fan.
Yep, he loved country music.
Yes, so he comes out with the Almost Blue album, okay, and it was all country music songs, covers.
You know what, that was not that bad, I gotta tell you.
No, it's not a bad album, but it's all covers. It's all covers. Right, he does Merle Haggard, Hank Williams, he also covers Graham Parsons.
You know what, I shit on him, but that album, I actually enjoyed that album. I was listening to that album while I was doing the research. I did. First of all, the first thing I did, I listened to the first album. I listened to the third album in full, and then I listened to this album, which I forgot he did the country album because after you.
And he would go back to country later on and other stuff.
It's great.
Yeah. It was a ballsy move.
Yeah.
Because early '80s country music wasn't really in the forefront of American music anymore. So for him to come out and do that was, a ballsy move.
It is a ballsy. You know who was a guy that kind of did that? Like Johnny Cash did.
Johnny Cash was always country. He wasn't going to do anything else.
Then he turned around and do a little gospel. And then by the end of his career, he was covering all these songs, and the song was better than the original.
Cash is in a category all by himself.
I love his Hurt more than the original Hurt.
Me too.
The 9 Inch Nail, was it 9 Inch Nail that did the first one?
Yeah.
His is superior.
I think most people will say that.
I love that one.
So. July of 82, again, he's coming out with at least an album a year.
Yep.
He would come out with Imperial Bedroom. This would be a change. He would not have Nick Lowe with him on this album.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and it's not a great album. There's a lot of lavish productions on it. He wanted to experiment with things.
What's up, Fisher?
He ended up getting Jeff Emmerich, who was the former Beatles sound engineer to produce that album. Okay, there was a song called Beyond Belief, Tears Before Bedtime. He had dedicated some of the songs to Chet Baker, the jazz artist, on the album. It was a different direction for him. He was starting to experiment, and to me, I felt he was getting a little off the rails a little bit at that point.
No, he been off the rail for a while, but you know what the problem is? He's such a talented guy that if he would have stuck to one thing, but then he got, to me, I think he got too political. He started shit like shit. He did
get very. He would get political,
alone, man.
I mean, he did play Live Aid. Okay, and anyway, we're getting to that. Okay, in August of '83, he would release an album called Punch the Clock. It was produced by Clive Langer and Alan Winstonley, and that would finally get him his big top 40 single in America, which was the song "Every Day I Write the Book."
Yep.
Okay.
That's actually a pretty decent
song. It's a good song. It got to number 33. He had gotten. This was another album where he was getting some different ideas. He got this girl backing band called Aphrodisiac to play on the album.
You know how we like those.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And a 4-piece horn section called the TKO Horns. So he was expanding his band with the Attractions.
But that sound was kind of weird for that time. It was a very different sound.
Yeah, it was different.
It was a different sound. Like not too many people had that kind of.
No, he was definitely onto something.
He was.
There was a song on there called "Shipbuilding," which was a tribute to Chet Baker also.
Oh shit!
And Chet Baker would actually re-record that song later on for himself. Yeah,
fantastic.
no relation to me.
No, not to the real Mike Baker?
Nope, not related to. Okay. At this point in '83, band tensions with the Attractions was really kind of at an all-time high. So I think that he was sick of having this band that he wasn't getting along with.
Yeah.
They weren't interested in experimental stuff that he was getting into. He basically announces at that point that the next album that was going to come out was going to be their last album, and he was breaking up the band.
Yeah.
Okay. He was also talking about going into retirement, which would not last long.
One of that, yeah.
Okay, but the album was called "Goodbye Cruel World." Okay, appropriately called. In 1984. I remember when this came out. They were trying to sell it. The single off it was called "The Only Flame in Town," and it was a duet with Daryl Hall from Daryl Hall and John Oates.
I thought it was okay.
No, it sucked. It wasn't okay. It sucked. Okay, and
it was a bag of dicks.
It was a bag of dicks. Okay, now it's funny the album's called. It's funny the album's called "Goodbye Cruel World." It's supposed to be his last album, but at least come up with some good songs.
No,
okay,
it was terrible,
and it just was badly received. And what's so funny is the band knows it, because in 1995, when they re-released it with extra tracks, they were doing all that with Rhino Records on his catalog. He put a comment in the liner notes saying like, congratulations, you just bought our worst album.
But you know what he did? That he hated this band. He wanted to disband. He wanted to go. He wasn't happy.
Yeah.
But you know what? This guy, as much as I'm not a fan of fucking Elvis Costello.
I say I'm a fan up until a certain point.
But you gotta understand, the guy had he released 25 fucking albums.
Yeah, and only about 5 of them are good.
He got like an LP now with 4 albums that came out last year.
He got more famous almost off of stuff that wasn't what he originally was doing.
Yeah.
Guys like Paul McCartney, Billy Joel, they get into these these things where they want to get into classical music and branch out. And I'm always kind of like, why? No one wants to really hear that. I mean, they're doing it for themselves. I guess that's okay. Yeah. But are you bored with what you're doing?
They are bored.
I mean, well, you know what? Maybe it's time to hang it up.
What do you think about Neil Diamond if we did a show on Neil Diamond?
You know what? I actually like Neil Diamond.
I love Neil Diamond.
And I like Neil Diamond more than I like Elvis Costello.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think, hey, he's the Jewish Elvis.
Yeah.
All right. And he, okay, he is. All right. And he's just a cool motherfucker.
You ever seen the movie Saving Silverman?
Yes. I mean, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, they had that track, the Brothers, Brothers Love Show, whatever that fucking song was called. It's a great song.
Dude, let's get off the topic. Yeah. How great was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Great. Fantastic.
You love The Irishman, but I thought Once Upon a Time.
I'm not comparing the two. I like The Irishman, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was way
phenomenal.
better. Oh yeah.
I love the way they shitted on Bruce Lee.
Yeah, and that scene. When I bought the DVD last week, and it came on Amazon. When I watched it that night, and when I watched it, I got to the scene with Bruce. I watched it like 3 times.
That was great.
Okay, when he slammed. First of all, Pitt's face when Bruce Lee's talking all this shit. All right, his face, he's just like, and then he smiles and he laughs, and Bruce Lee's like, "What are you laughing at?" And when they start fighting, he throws him into the car. That is just classic.
Dude, the guy looked like Bruce Lee. Who was the actor? I gotta look up who the actor. That was great.
Bruce Lee's daughter, got all in a tiffle.
Oh, because I didn't know that.
Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, when the movie was out back in the spring, when it was in the theaters, people were talking about that scene. And she said that she was pissed off at Tarantino for showing her father in that light, that he was not that kind of person that would be bragging and talking shit and everything.
He totally was that person.
But then you had people that came out and said, yeah, he kind of was like that a little bit. So, but it's a movie. Yeah. Get over it. It's a movie. Be happy that
changed history again.
Yeah, he did. He did. He always does.
And we're going to talk about the conspiracy about that.
Is he a time traveler?
We're going to talk about conspiracy. We're going to talk about that movie. It's going to be great. So let's go back to Costello. Sorry to get you off, but
all right.
Holy
1985, he would come out with. 1985, he would be doing Live Aid. Okay, remember Live Aid?
Yeah, remember.
All right, now in that, he played Live Aid. I think it was in England that he did this because they had the different concerts going.
Yeah.
He did the Beatles' "All You Need Is Love."
Yeah.
Okay, and it became like a big sing along.
Yeah.
Okay.
All you need is
Now
love.
he would come out with Pogues. The Pogues he was working with. Their album called Rum Sodomy and what the hell is that called? The Clash. Rum Sodomy and the Clash.
Right here.
Over there. 1986, he was working with his friend T-Bone Burnett, okay, and he had Elvis Presley's sideman James Burton and Jerry Sheff produce an album called King of America. Another country-inspired kind of thing. Not a bad album, but
I
this was...
like the country album.
I do like some of the country stuff he does. This was strictly an Elvis Costello solo album. Didn't have a backing band with him. All right. There were some songs that he had a backing band called the Confederates that he would play with, but the album was marketed as just Elvis Costello. That album also had the version of "Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood."
I just came up with an idea.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Confederacy of the United States movie? It's like
like if the South won the war.
We're gonna do a show about that
CSA?
movie.
Okay.
We're gonna do,
Okay. All right.
We should do a watch along. Us watching that movie.
Yeah.
And the fucking background noise.
All right.
Think about that.
Yeah. That was a TV movie, actually.
That was done by Spike Lee, he was the producer.
It was a TV movie, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was a movie.
No,
It was like
it
it looked like a documentary.
It was like a doc, but it was on like Channel 7 or something.
They had like a shopping network for slaves.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
It was ridiculous. It was so fucked up. I saw that shit the other day. I must have laughed for fucking 30 minutes. I couldn't believe this.
It's fucking crazy. I saw it when it came out. I remember being like, oh man.
John Kelly told me about it. You gotta see this fucking movie.
John Kelly told
me
about
I was like, what? What the hell are you talking about?
Figures John Kelly told me.
And fucking, Elvis Costello, I think when he did his solo stuff, he was much better than when he had a backup band.
You know what? I'm ready to stop this fucking show and just not talk anymore about Elvis Costello and talk about other shit.
Elvis Costello. Let's just finish it. We got good stuff going on.
Okay, cool.
We're making the magic happen, baby.
Making the magic happen.
My man Elvis Presley is the key.
That's right, Elvis Presley. We're talking about Elvis Costello, John. Are you drunk?
Should we do a Presley show? How weird would that be? I don't think we could touch that.
If we do, we got to do it like at the end when he was really fat.
We got to do a conspiracy one with him where
like he's really alive.
He was like I saw that motherfucker the other day
in Burger King.
No, I saw him in TGI Friday.
Okay. I thought I saw him in Target one time.
He might be in Target. I think. Did you see that report? Somebody they found bed bugs in a Walmart.
Oh.
Have you seen somebody just plant? Oh, you got it. It's phenomenal. I'll show you the link. No, somebody planted. Somebody had a pill jar.
I put them in 1987, he would come out with the Out of Our Idiot album, which is like a compilation of B-sides and unreleased shit and everything. He's still, every year, at least once a year, he's coming out with something. Now, 1989,
give it to the guy. He came up with music.
1989, he would come out with the Spike album, and this would give him his biggest selling U.S. single, the song Veronica.
I remember Veronica.
That was an all right song. It was an all right song. Now, on this album, he actually worked with Paul McCartney.
Oh, yeah.
There's some songs that are penned between the two of them. He was getting a reputation as like this incredible songwriter. So for him to even like do something with Paul McCartney was a big thing.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I hand it to him for that. That's why I even wanted to do this show, because he really is that great songwriter. Even though he's done a lot of stuff that I think is shit, there's still like a core of stuff that I think is good.
But that's like every songwriter. After you do it so long, you gotta fucking take a full shit album and just take the hit, you know?
You know, yes and no. I mean, look at Lou Reed. Lou Reed is one of the greatest songwriters of all time.
Yeah, but Lou Reed.
And he was pretty consistent with what he did, except for a few here and there. you know, he makes an album of Feedback. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
different, but mostly he was like just that 3-chord, 2-guitar kind of sound. He would win an MTV Music Award for that song, Veronica. Now, the last 30 years, that was 89. In the last 31 years now, okay, he basically, it's a period of like collaborations, experimentations, and compilations. Okay, he does a lot of different things, and a lot of different box sets.
And he's also doing acting, like he played himself in a bunch of shows.
Yeah, well, he's in like the Austin Powers movie.
Yeah, he was like in Austin Powers. He was in. He was on 3 Rock of 3rd Rock of the Sun. He was, I'm like, holy shit! Because he's also like an actor. Like he acted. In
sometimes he plays himself. Sometimes he would play another musician, but both mostly based on himself.
Yeah,
I don't think he's done anything outright acting where he's playing in the whole movie, right? I don't recall that. I didn't come across that in my research.
But he did a lot of acting in England. Like he was in that commercial in England. He also did some acting, which like, holy shit.
Now, 1991, he would release an album called Mighty Like a Rose with a single called The Other Side of Summer. 1993, he started getting into classical music. And he did this collaboration with the Brodsky Quartet, and it was called The Juliet Letters. It was critically acclaimed. He also wrote that album for Wendy James, who was the singer, to Transvision Vamp. She was a hottie.
Yeah, she was.
Okay, he wrote that whole album for her. That came out in 93, and it's called Now Ain't the Time for Your Tears. 1994, he would get the Attractions back together again.
Yep.
Okay, big deal.
Recruit them.
He recruited them again, and it was called Brutal Youth. 1995, he would come out with an album of covers called Kojak Variety.
Yes.
96, All the Useless Beauty, and the album, it was an album of songs that he had written for other people that he did himself.
Yep.
Okay.
And he actually wrote a lot of songs for a lot of other people. It's amazing. Like you go through that catalog and you see all the songs. He wrote this for this and that. And you know what? He did a lot of songs that he wrote that he could have done, but I'm glad he gave it to other people.
Yeah, I mean his throwaways
Who's
are
the
better
other guy?
than most.
Who's the other guy that does that? I can't even think of his name. Oh my god, I got a brain fart so bad. What's the guy with the harmonica?
What Bob Dylan?
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan's another guy. People think he's a terrible singer. He cannot sing.
Bob Dylan's amazing.
No, he cannot sing.
No,
but he's a great talker. To me, I tell people
he's a songwriter.
He's the first rapper.
Kind of.
Because he fucking talked his word, and when he talked like his, and I think Elvis Costello got a lot of things from Bob Dylan. Because Bob Dylan, he's that guy. It's like a mirror.
Bob Dylan. If there was no Bob Dylan, we wouldn't be sitting here today talking about rock and roll.
No,
because when people in the '60s that were into him, they would cover his songs.
Great,
and it just changed the world.
Yeah.
He was a folk singer. I mean, he started in the late 50s.
To me, I always thought Bob, he's a horrible singer. Great songwriter.
Yeah.
Great songwriter. One of the best.
I like the thing with Dylan.
But my brother, he could talk. He could talk.
Yeah. No, his lyrics are always interesting.
His lyrics are great, Bob. I went a few years ago. I used to hang out with this girl, Mona. She got me. We went to the Chase Museum.
Yeah.
And we went to the Bob Dylan exhibit.
Yeah.
And guess how Bob Dylan wrote most of his songs?
How?
No, guess what he wrote most of his songs on?
On what?
Napkins from a diner.
Yes.
There were so many songs.
Because he would be sitting
there were hit songs on a napkin.
He'd be sitting in coffee shops in the village doing the folk thing at the time in the 50s. Writing songs on napkins.
I was amazed by that, and it's like albums. They would have albums on napkins.
Yeah.
Oh, I started writing this because I thought he would write stuff on it. So I just started writing this, and I was fascinated by that.
Anybody that's playing music today,
that's the guy that we need to do a 2-part of Bob Dylan, which we should do after we do all this.
Or we could do
stuff.
Making of an album or two. He had a long career. I'm a big fan of the Highway 61 album.
Yes, great album.
I listened to that. And some stuff around that time. Nashville Skyline, I like. That's like a country album.
But I hate to give Elvis Costello this, but he was I think he was a Bob Dylan disciple.
Absolutely.
I think he definitely took a lot of things for him.
Without a doubt.
like you say, if it wasn't for Diddy, we wouldn't have all the stuff that we have.
Yeah. Now, at that point in '96, when he got the Attractions back together, '95 he got them back together. By '96, he was having a problem with the band again. Okay.
I still think that was his best band, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Even though
Well, it was. I think that was the best material he did. That and the first album before he had the Attractions.
Yeah.
But Bruce Thomas left, and the band basically broke up. He would then put together Elvis Costello and the Imposters.
I thought that was bad.
Which they actually they were actually good. They came out with a couple. There was some albums that were like a back to form kind of thing. 1997, he had a greatest hits album called Extreme Honey. He was experimenting much more with jazz at this point. And in '96, he began working with Burt Bacharach.
Wow.
All right, yeah. And he did the song called God Give Me Strength for the movie Grace of My Heart, which is a great movie. You ever see that movie?
I've seen that movie. Great fucking movie.
It's I love that movie. I've seen it so many times. And he wrote the song. It's supposed to be about Carole King.
Yeah.
But it's a different name.
Yeah.
And that song, God Give Me Strength, is like a big hit for this Carole King character.
Tremendous.
But Elvis Costello wrote the song. 1998, he would be released on Mercury Records. He would be signed up with them. And it would be, he would also show up in a Austin Powers movie that year. Okay, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Yeah.
All right. Remember the scene with Burt Bacharach? He's like on the piano.
Yeah. You want to hear something funny? Yeah. They're going to do one more movie. Austin Powers come for one more movie.
They're bringing another one back?
One more, yeah.
I'll go see it. Now, 1999, he hosted SNL.
Yes, I remember that.
He had been there before. The band was lifted in the 80s. But in 99, he hosted it again, and it was when the Beastie Boys were on, and they were doing Sabotage.
Yeah.
And right in the middle of them doing it, he broke in with them.
Yeah.
And he made them do Radio.
Fantastic.
Now, 2001 to 2005, Rhino Records would get interested in Elvis's catalog.
That's an interesting company, Rhino.
I love Rhino. I think Rhino is one of the best companies out today as far as re-releasing things,
they're fucking
doing
fantastic.
things, original artwork.
Yeah.
And their stuff is not that expensive.
No.
And I have tons of their stuff.
I love Rhino, right?
Yeah.
Rhino level, like Rhino, that's a fantastic thing. You know, they take things and they just redo it, and they do it in the right way, which is something hard.
They do, and they'll look at an album originally how it came out, whatever artwork, and just reproduce it.
Yep.
And if they have to spend money to do it, they'll do it.
They'll do it. Yeah.
Very good company. March of 2003. What happened?
What happened?
My favorite thing. He got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
I knew that. I'd rather you say the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
He deserves it.
No, he deserves it.
He deserved it.
And like I was saying, Rolling Stone magazine, out of the 100 top artists of all time, he's number 80. Do you think that's a good...
Yeah. I would put him in...
80?
I wouldn't put him much higher than that.
I'd say 90s, but 80s.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Some people really kiss his ass and they put him higher.
Yeah.
And those people I don't get. But
I mean, I put Bob Dylan in the top 20 at least.
Bob Dylan's in the top 10.
I put him in the top 20.
You have to, or top 20, you have to.
I just have a problem with the way he talks his words. He's a great songwriter, but
he's just too
it's
important.
great when other people
singing
his songs are
and
always
so
better.
many did that you don't even realize it.
I would put Willie Nelson in the top 10.
Top 20.
I think Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan about the same thing.
No, not me. Not me. I like some Willie.
Willie's fucking great.
Outlaw country guys I like.
Oh, yeah.
May of 2003, he announced his engagement to jazz singer Diana Krall. Earlier, he had been married to Kate O'Riordan from the Pogues.
Yes.
I think they had a kid together or something, but they broke up, and he hooked up with Diana Krall. Now, in 2004, in July of that year, he actually wrote a ballet, called Il Sogno, all right? And it would come out as a classical release in September of that year. He returned back to country also that year with Elvis Costello and the Imposters, an album called Lost Highway. So in 1 year, he puts out a classical music and a country album.
The country, I thought he was good at country.
When he does country, I don't mind it.
He should have left the country.
Yeah.
I hated the classical. I have no interest in none of the classical.
And there is classical music I like, but I like classical music that's actually classical, not something that's coming out now. I don't care.
I didn't like none of his classical shit. That's like, out.
I mean, I do like things like Wagner and stuff like that, but I got to be in the mood to listen to. You got to listen to.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Beethoven, Wagner, that's a whole different class of shit.
Right. Now, September of 2006, on the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, he would be down in New Orleans, and he would connect with the legendary New Orleans performer Alan Toussaint. Okay, and they would do a benefit for Katrina survivors, and it would actually morph into an album called River in Reverse. And anytime you have a chance to work with Alan Toussaint, that's amazing.
That's a pretty decent album.
Dr. John worked with him. Remember we were talking about that last week.
That was a good album.
Yeah. 2006, he would get involved with some opera pieces with Sting from the Police.
Sting went through that weird phase that he was doing
stuff like that. Elvis Costello was there with him. The Danish Royal Opera signed him to write an opera, which he did. Okay. He also went on tour with Sting when Sting brought back the Police about 12 years ago in 2007, 2008.
Was that also where he released the Desert Row album? Desert Row, with Sting?
Maybe. I don't pay attention. We went through
that whole class. We went through that weird phase that was doing very...
Yeah, maybe. Not a fan of the guy at all.
I like to go on tour with Sade. And be her smooth operator.
Yeah. She's got a big forehead.
I don't care. I'll hit that shit.
It's a nice target.
It's a nice target. Once you're done. Woo! Thank you.
Bukkake target.
That's a better target than the general from Iran.
Oh, God. We're going off the rails today. We just talked about Bukkake and Sade.
Anyway. I got a nice aim for you, honey. Oh, my aim is true. You're there. I'll hit that bitch in the forehead.
My aim is true. Elvis Costello, man.
Try that, Costello. Ooh, what a night.
Oh, man. Now, in May of 2009, Mr. Costello would do a surprise performance with Spinal Tap at the Beacon Theater. Okay, he showed up while they were playing, and he did one song called, Give Me Some Money, when they were like that 60s band. Give me some money.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep. May 2010, okay, he would get political again, and he would pull out of a concert that was set in Israel. He was against the Israeli treatment of Palestinians. He pulled out of that.
Wow, he's still singing?
Yeah.
He lucky
didn't get him.
He lucky he didn't get Epstein.
Yeah. Epstein didn't kill himself.
Without question.
He released a memoir in October of 2015 called Unfaithful Music and the Disappearing... What the hell was it? Info. I can't even read my own handwriting.
You need to stop writing Chinese. You're a fucking round eye.
I can't read my own shit. It's true. It's true. Whatever. Look it up on Wikipedia. That's where I got the information anyway. All right. What I got to mention too, and you would know this, is the second season of The Deuce used This Year's Girl.
Yes.
As the song.
Yes.
And it was re-recorded with a demo with some chick. I don't know who it was, but I remember when I was a big fan of the show, and I'm like, oh shit, they're using Elvis Costello, and he did it as a duet. It was very good.
Yeah.
That was a good season too. He would reconnect again in October of 2018 with Burt Bacharach, and he would also come out with an album called Look Now with Elvis Costello and the Imposters. 2019, he would get knighted by the Queen.
Yes.
So he is now a Sir Elvis Costello.
Elvis Costello.
Okay. And I'm done. That's it.
That's a lot of info. You know what the guy, I just know he also had an EP last year. Like he had 4 songs on a thing that he came out. You see that?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I was listening to today. He had like 1 or 2 good songs.
Yeah.
You know what? I use Apple. I got my Apple Music, so I got a limit of shit that people come out. But there was a lot of shit between the time.
To me, you know, Elvis Costello. If you're like a rock guy, like me, rock and roll guy, it's just like the first 4 or 5 albums, and then after that it's very sporadic.
Yeah.
But there's people that like these later periods. He got into a lot of different things.
I gotta say, I love the country.
Some of the country
I
stuff
love the
is
country.
good. The album of the week, okay, it's going to be Armed Forces.
Armed Forces,
that's my favorite album from him. But I'm going to change gears here. I'm going to do something I don't usually do. Usually I pick a song of the week from the artist we're talking about. Not doing that this week.
Oh,
okay.
So who's
Well, I'm going to shift gears here. We're going to talk about the song of the week, which is the Ziggy Stardust that Bauhaus did.
Ooh, that's a great song.
Now, the reason I bring this up is because January 21st, Peter Murphy is playing La Poisson Rouge here in the city.
Yes.
Now, Peter Murphy was a singer of Bauhaus.
That's like in 2 weeks, right? That's like a Tuesday, right? Tuesday night?
Well, that night is a Tuesday night, I think. We're not going to that show. What we're going to is, that was the first night of his music only.
What day are we going to?
We're going on the 24th, which is the second night of the Bowie tribute that he's doing.
What day is that? That's a Thursday, right?
I think it's a Thursday or a Friday.
I gotta tell my job I'm leaving early that day.
Yeah, well, it starts at like 8.
Oh, so
you'll make it. You'll make it, yeah. January 23rd and 24th, Peter Murphy is at La Poisson Rouge again. He has a residency that he's making up shows because he had a heart attack last year. But he's making up the shows. He's fine now. He's got Bauhaus back together. They are actually playing Radio City on June 24th.
That's going to be phenomenal.
We're going.
I got to give you some money, so we'll talk about money next week. I got to give him some money.
Yep.
We're doing a lot of... So we're probably going to have a Bauhaus episode of the rock show.
Yeah, maybe closer to the show. I know some people that went to the LA show, okay, when Bauhaus got back together last month, I think it was, or the month before. Fantastic. Get your goth on.
Get your goth on.
Get the tickets for Radio City. It'll be a good show.
And I would like to tell you people, we also got one extra day of Black History Month. It's
February
29.
Yep.
It's leap year. I think we should do a special rock show tribute on that day, and we'll do a very special artist.
Buckwheat
and his songs. No, I think we should do a little maybe Jack Johnson, the great musician. Got a song Texas Flood.
About Robert Johnson.
Oh, we could do Robert Johnson too. Either one of those.
Yeah, Black History Month. We're doing a 2-parter on Bob Marley.
And a show on. I was thinking about Ledbetter.
Okay.
And what was Ledbetter?
We can talk about different blues guys.
Wasn't Ledbetter Jack? What was his real name? Ledbetter's name.
It's not Jack Johnson.
I
forget.
But Ledbetter, I have.
You want to do a show on like blues guys?
Let's
like
do a
Son House and Robert Johnson.
Yeah, we'll do a whole thing with that. Ledbetter. Yeah, we can talk about the old classic. Like we'll be like a show
on the actual leap year.
It'll be on leap year. It'll be a special rock show edition.
Good idea,
of an extra day.
You always
for Black History.
Your mind is alcohol soaked,
yeah.
But it's always working.
I don't always think, but when I do, it's because I'm drinking.
That's true.
Dos Equis put that up your ass.
That's true. So he's the most interesting man alive.
I was the most lumped up man alive on Tuesday.
How were you on New Year's Eve? I haven't seen you since.
Oh man, I got fucked up the day after. I was talking.
Oh yeah, New Year's Day you went out, right?
I got fucked up. Oh, I was not the best Rob Rossi ever.
Oh shit.
So Mike, how do we end this show, Rocker Mike?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that if you're looking for Rob Rossi, you got to find him on Instagram.
Definitely Instagram.
Okay. Twitter.
Yep.
And Local Saloon,
but I actually changed. So don't look at me on Rob. Look at me on the Lumped Up label.
Getting Lumped Up.
I'm on every social media.
Right.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook.
Right.
I'm on YouTube. The YouTube thing we really need. We're like 15 fans away from really
anybody out
the
there. If you're not a member, subscribe member on the YouTube channel, go to Getting Lumped Up. see his face, hit like and subscribe, please. We're almost there. We're gonna try to make some money out of this.
We're gonna try to do something. We want to make this a job, and we can entertain you. I can get more better video. I can get actually people, get some real guests, better production, get some guests to pay, because we're like for 2020, we're moving forward with this project, and we need to really get it out there. This is a movement. This is something that we work hard on. We do a lot of research. And I hope you guys appreciate it, because we do it for you, the fans.
And if you're looking for me, I am on Instagram, RockerMike212, RockerMike212. And if you want to find me on Twitter, it's RockerMike3, and Facebook under my real name, which is Michael Baker, Baker.
And Mike, remember, we don't get drunk, we get lumped up. Have a good day. Go fuck yourself. Thank you.